Hey guys, it's Alex. Welcome to episode number 7 of the Capital Map and our first episode of 2023. Today, we're talking about the desirable and prestigious neighborhoods that make up the district of Oak Bay. So where in Victoria is Oak Bay? Well, the namesake comes from the bay that sits in behind me off of Willows Beach, but the neighborhoods themselves actually stretch from all the way north near Cabre Bay, all the way down south along the eastern edge of Victoria towards Harling Point and Gonzales Bay. So what are these neighborhoods actually like? Well, starting up at the north end of Oak Bay, we're going to talk about maybe the most distinct neighborhood in Oak Bay first, the Uplands. This is a 465-acre parcel designed as a subdivision by landscape architect John Olmsted in 1907. These have incredible estate-sized lots, serpentine streets, and beautiful ornate lampposts that are like nothing else in Oak Bay. It is the most exclusive neighborhood, and the average sale price of a detached home in this community was over $3.8 million in 2022. Next up, just west of the Uplands, is the Henderson neighborhood, which sits in between Camosun College and UVic and does mean there are a few student homes, but on the whole, these are large private lots designed for families. Here on the Lansdowne slope, we have some of the best views south across Victoria toward the Olympic Mountains, and most of the homes in this community were built in the 50s and 60s. The Estevan neighborhood. This is what I would consider the most walkable neighborhood in Oak Bay, with Estevan Village at its center as well as access to Willows Beach. It's nice, level, and flat, and has a great mixture of older homes and newer homes. Just south of the Henderson community is North Oak Bay. The divider between North and South Oak Bay is actually Oak Bay Avenue, and many of the homes within close proximity to the Ave are some of Oak Bay's most unique and desirable heritage homes. North Oak Bay, compared to South Oak Bay, is actually on the more affordable end of the spectrum, but considering that this is Oak Bay, that isn't saying much. The median sale price of a detached home in North Oak Bay in 2022 was $1.625 million. Lying south of Oak Bay Avenue and running all the way down towards McNeill Bay and the Victoria Golf Club sits South Oak Bay. In my mind, because of the incredible tree-lined streets, the access to the ocean all the way around it, and the family-friendly atmosphere, I think South Oak Bay is probably the second most desirable neighborhood in the district of Oak Bay. And lastly, we end up in the Gonzales neighborhood down at the south end of Oak Bay between Gonzales Bay and McNeill Bay, and running all the way down this hillside towards Harling Point. To me, this is the Malibu of Canada, and if you take one drive along King George Terrace, you'll know exactly what I mean. Homes built into an incredible hillside with captivating views across the ocean. So what are the homes like in Oak Bay? Well, there is a focus on single-family homes in Oak Bay, but you will find a little bit of density around the arterial roads like Cabre Bay Road, Oak Bay Avenue, and down by Oak Bay Marina on Beach Drive, which means some of those condominiums have some of the best sea views in Victoria. But on the whole, what you will find are established single-family neighborhoods throughout Oak Bay. The average sale price for a single-family detached home in Oak Bay in 2022 was just north of $2.3 million. There aren't a ton of townhouse options, but the ones that did sell averaged just over $1.3 million, and condos come in just shy of $770,000 on average in 2022. So who lives in Oak Bay? Well, there are just under 18,000 residents that call Oak Bay home, and I would say it's on the older end of the spectrum as far as Victoria goes. More than 31% of its residents are over 65, and the median age is 53.8. It's not the most dense neighborhood with just 1,700 residents per square kilometer. The pros. The natural beauty of Oak Bay is unmatched because we have all of this coastline that runs from Cabre Bay all the way around to Harling Point at the southeastern end of Vancouver Island. There's so much amazing beachfront and access to the ocean side. Pro number 2, one of the things I love about Oak Bay is the consistent neighborhood aesthetic. Wherever you go, you'll find extremely well-kept homes on beautiful tree-lined streets. Pro number 3, Oak Bay is arguably the safest community in Victoria. For example, in 2021, StatsCan released a crime severity index ranking for different municipalities in Victoria. Victoria came in well above the Canadian average at a 148-point score, and Oak Bay, by contrast, came in at just 29. Pro number 4, 2 of the best golf courses in Greater Victoria also sit in Oak Bay. We're here at Uplands, which was established in 1922, and just down the road is the Victoria Golf Club, which was established in 1893. The great part about golf in British Columbia, and in Victoria specifically, is that both of these two golf clubs average over 360 days of play per year. Pro number 5. This is a sailor's paradise, and Oak Bay has two of the best marinas in all of Greater Victoria at the Royal Victoria Yacht Club and Oak Bay Marina. Pro number 6. Oak Bay has some of the highest ranked public and private schools in all of Greater Victoria, so if a quality education is what you're looking for your kids, it's one of the best communities to consider. Behind me is Glenlyon-Norfolk School, the primary version, which has an extension of what was Francis Rattenbury's original residence. I like to sneak in these little fun facts. He's the same guy that designed our Parliament buildings in the inner harbor of Victoria. The cons. There's not a lot of negative aspects to living in Oak Bay, but what you may have picked up on is the first one. It's expensive. Victoria is not an overly affordable place to live, and Oak Bay takes that to the next level. Con number 2, there isn't a huge variety of housing options in Oak Bay, and because it's dominated by single-family detached homes, the condo and townhouse pickings are pretty slim. Con number 3, it's pretty sleepy. Outside of a few community events like the Oak Bay Tea Party and the Oak Bay Night Market, there's not a lot going on in Oak Bay. The hidden gems, the places that the locals know about. At the top of my list, although there are more than 20 restaurants and cafes in Oak Bay, some of my favorites are in Estevan Village. On a Sunday morning, you can walk down to Willows Beach, then turn around, come back, and get brunch at the Village. Or behind me here, grab a coffee at Ruth and Dean, which is one of my favorite local spots. Or, even better, maybe grab the famous fish and chips at the Galley. This is a great place and number 1 of my hidden gems. Hidden gem number 2. What I consider one of the best dog parks in all of Greater Victoria is right here in Oak Bay at Anderson Hill Park. From in here behind me, you have incredible views south toward the Olympic Mountain Range, Trial Islands, and all of McNeill Bay. Hidden gem number 3. More of a fun fact than a hidden gem, but for all of you history buffs like me, you'll find that Oak Bay is steeped in history. The home sitting in behind me is actually the oldest continually occupied residence in Western Canada and the oldest home in Victoria at Todd House. This was built in 1850 on a 100-acre HBC farm. Hidden gem number 4. The best view in Victoria, in my opinion, is right here from the lookout on Gonzales Hill. At the top of Denison, you'll find Gonzales Hill Regional Park, as well as this incredible lookout, which has the best 360-degree view of Victoria and its coastline. At the end of the day, Oak Bay is expensive, but for good reason. It's desirable because it's one of the most incredible places to live in all of Canada, and whether you're retiring or raising a family, Oak Bay is a special place in the world. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll look forward to seeing you in episode 8 of The Capital Map.